learned about it in November of 2023, that my son was getting paid from Alaska from some company that Paul and his family, I guess, invested in. The day Garrett was born, he had been getting like $10,000 every 3 to 4 months, and half of that was my son's money. And I wasn't even aware of this until about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Judge, there's only one agreement between the parties, and that is to child support, for current child support. The agreement is for there to be child support to be set to $0 as the child is receiving dividends through the Arctic Slope Regional Corporation.
I'm sorry, no, they're receiving dividends through a corporation? Is that what you said?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, I'm going to need testimony on that. I'm sure that warrants a deviation, but maybe it does.
Okay, Judge. That's fine.
Okay. And does everyone agree that this is your child, Mr. Caldwell and Ms. Proctor? You both agree that the AOP was signed and Garrett is both of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may continue, Ms. Petita.
Okay, Judge. Since of course my testimony on the agreed child support, Judge, I'll call the parties first. I'll call Ms. Proctor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Proctor, you previously identified yourself. You are the mother to the child in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Caldwell is the father of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. The child currently resides with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of conservatorship are you asking for the court?
Considering that he has been absent since the child was 6 months old, I would like the safe visitation program for the first 6 months.
Asking for about conservatorship, right? Are you asking for joint managing conservatorship?
Oh, okay. It's sole managing conservatorship.
Okay. And what is the reason for wanting sole managing conservatorship?
Because I've raised him by myself since he was 6 months old, and he is almost 7 years old now. I have not asked for any kind of help since he's been born. I haven't really I haven't involved Paul that much because he has a drug problem, and I just don't agree with the drugs he does. He's also threatened to kill me and my child, and I have proof of that as well. I don't feel like it's safe fully yet because there's a lot of growing to do.
When did he threaten to kill you and your child?
It was in 2022, and that's what initially, I have a screenshot of it, but that's what initially made me kind of cut complete contact off, because there was a lot of threats during the relationship and a lot of physical abuse during the relationship as well.
Okay. So do you have concerns with him having your contact information?
He has, his girlfriend has me on Facebook. That's as far as it's gotten. I would rather him not have my contact information, but he can message me through Facebook. And he is not blocked or anything. Never.
Okay, as far as your phone number and address, are you asking the court to grant you a non-disclosure of your information today? I
would like that, yes.
Okay. Now, you said since 2022, you cut off communication with him. Since 2022, has he communicated with the child or seen the child?
He video called him about a month and a half ago because my son was having a fit to talk to him, and I'm not going to keep my son from talking to him because he is getting older, and I would like for him to have a relationship with him, but I want I just don't want the drugs and the threats. I'm still very uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
Especially because he's never been, they don't have a relationship.
Since 2022, has he threatened you again?
Yes, he's threatened me multiple times.
Okay, and how?
Do you remember?
Yeah, he told me he was going to turn my insides.
Objection.
Ma'am. Sustained. You cannot have a conversation with a third person to affect your testimony. Okay. If you don't remember, you can say you don't remember, and you can call witnesses. But this is not like getting testimony through other people. It's not appropriate for court. You were here on the witness stand. If you were in court, you couldn't have a side conversation with someone who wouldn't even be sitting at your table. So just
Okay.
think of it as court, and just, if you don't remember, you don't remember. But please don't get information from other people. It's not appropriate.
Okay. I didn't know. I've never done this before.
That's okay. I'm just, now you both know.
Okay. Yeah, he walked off, but it's just been a lot. I just cut complete communication off at one point and just stopped responding because I have screenshots that I could send over that it just kind of shows it all, where he's threatened to turn my insides out and lay me on the side of a road. He's threatened to take Garrett from me and kill me and then tell Garrett all about it. Like, I have all this from his Facebook that says Paul Caldwell, and just list
Okay.
of constant mental abuse, threats. I just stopped responding.
Okay, Ms. Proctor. And you also mentioned that he uses drugs. Do you have personal knowledge of that?
Yes, actually, I let him come to Garrett's birthday party about 3 years ago, and he left his phone there, and I took a picture, which I don't know if it's illegal or not, but I took a picture of the notifications on his thing because I wanted proof that he sells drugs, and it literally says that someone was trying to sell him an ounce of cocaine for $700 on his text messages that would pop up on the screen. I couldn't click on it or open it. I just took a picture of that, and I have the picture of that as well. But
Okay. Is that when is the last time that he saw your son in person?
on his birthday about 3 years ago. And it was for about 30, 45 minutes until he was asked to leave because he body slammed my dog into the ground.
Okay, ma'am, if you could just listen to the questions and not give extra answers. It's very hard to follow when everything gets followed up with more information. And I know you want to share it all and you're happy to, you're excited that you're getting to tell your story and I want to hear it, but I lose a lot of it when people just explode information at me. So listen to the questions Ms. Petita will ask. At the end, you will get a chance to just talk. But right now, Ms. Petita is trained. She knows kind of what I need to hear. And if you just answer what she's asking, it'll get through to me a lot better.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it, Ms. Petita.
Okay. Okay, so you said he last saw him about 3 years ago at his birthday. Before that, did he have any kind of regular visitation with him?
No, he has never had any kind of regular visitation.
Okay. So what kind of visitation are you asking the court to order today?
Preferably, I would like if he was in the safe visitation program for about 6 months, considering they don't know each other really. And then after that 6 months, maybe supervised by a family member or somebody close to both of us that can mediate and be supervised visitations for maybe another 3 months, and then ease his way into having him every other weekend because he is still young and I don't want him to be confused.
Okay. So are you worried about your son being confused or about his safety?
Really all of it, the safety, the drugs. I don't want him to be confused being with, someone he doesn't really know that well. I've never really let my son go anywhere like that. I don't the drugs around him. I just, the way he used to act towards me and still is concerning because some people take that out on the children. I just don't think he's mentally stable enough to have a child overnight or by himself.
Okay, so you're asking the court to grant you a step-up visitation plan, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's where they go to the little centers and I can drop him off and he can see him there.
Now, when did you and Mr. Proctor or Mr. Caldwell separate?
When Garrett was 6 months old.
About what month and year was that?
It was maybe December of 2018.
So it was in December of 2018?
That's when we split.
Okay.
Now, since then, have you all lived together again?
No.
Now,
Did he do all the drugs and stuff when you were all together, or has that all been after separation?
It was going on while we were together, and that's what caused the separation, because I don't do stuff like that, and I don't agree with it. And he chose the drugs over his family, so.
Did he have supervised visitation with the baby after you all separated? Did you do any kind of visitation?
My mom would let him see him here and there before he was about 2.5 years old. That stopped because that's whenever I got the threat that he was going to murder me and tell Garrett about it. And so I told my mom to stop letting him see Garrett because of that. And my mom had agreed with me. So when he would see Garrett, it was very vaguely, and it was with my mom. My mom would just ask, like, hey, is this okay? And I'd be like, yes, that's fine. Because there was nothing too serious going on at that time, but Garrett was barely 2.5 years old. And then he threatened to kill me, so we cut it off.
Okay. Did you hear me say to the court earlier that there was an agreement between you two for zero child support in exchange for your child receiving the dividends?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Okay. Can you share what that means?
I am still kind of just learning about the dividend thing. I learned about it in November of 2023, that my son was getting paid from Alaska from some company that Paul and his family, I guess, invested in. I'm still trying to understand the whole thing. I don't fully understand it yet, but I found out about it because his ex-girlfriend told me about it, and turned out since the day Garrett was born, he had been getting like $10,000 every 3 to 4 months, and half of that was my son's money. And I wasn't even aware of this until about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And when I found out about it, I contacted the Arctic Slope Regional Corporation, and I informed them that I've had the child since he was born, and that these dividends of my child's are going to the wrong parent. And it took me about 1.5 years, which would be about 3 months ago, to finally get Paul to sign over all the dividends to me. And I still don't understand fully what it's from, but every 3 or 4 months, my son gets between like $2,000 to $4,000, and Paul was living off that before I got it. So,
Okay. So at this point,
Yeah.
you are receiving those dividends for your child.
Yes, I am now.
Okay, and your agreement for there to be there to be no child support going forward because you are receiving those dividends.
Yes, ma'am. As long as they stay in my name.
Okay. Are you asking for retro child support, for back child support?
So I was looking for the retroactive child support just because I have had no support the past 4 or 5 years whatsoever. I didn't really know how that would work since we're not doing the child support. I didn't know if I could still get retroactive child support or not. But I am curious about
have
that.
you received any money for your child?
Other than the dividends that my child is owed from Paul himself, no. I mean, he bought a pair of shoes last month, but that was about it.
Oh, wait, what do you mean by the dividends that your child is owed?
So my son's dividends are in his name. I just have like primary control over it. And then Paul gets dividends of his own. So like, I guess what I'm getting at is the lady I talked to earlier said that y'all might take the retroactive child support amount of $19,000 and subtract the $18,000 I got for Garrett like 2 months ago out of it, so he would only owe like 1,000 something. But I was confused by that because then it would be like Garrett paying Garrett. That would be coming out of Garrett's money. So why would it come out of my child's money and not his money is where I'm confused.
Okay, so you're saying you received $18,000 for your child 2 or 3 months ago?
Yes, and all that went into a trust fund that I already had set up. So I don't even have none. All that's put up.
Okay, do you have access to that money?
I do, but the way I have it set up is he's not getting it till he's 18 because I got in a car accident about 5 years ago and I got paid out so much that they set up my kids their own trust funds from that. And so I just added to it. Does that make sense?
Okay, so, but the 18,000, would it have come to you like these dividends are coming to you that you're getting every 3 to 4 months?
It's direct deposit.
Okay, so the $18,000 was deposited in your account.
Yes.
Let's see. And other than that money and the pair of shoes, have you received any other kind of financial assistance from Mr. Caldwell?
No, not that I can remember.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Do you have access to affordable health insurance through an employer or another source?
My son has Medicaid. And then I have the Texas Women's Health also.
Okay. Okay. Now, if the county of Galveston County orders court costs, are you in agreement to give Mr. Caldwell a year to pay those back till 6/12/2026?
Yes, that's fine.
Judge, I pass this witness.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
Judge, I'll call Mr. Caldwell.
You may do so.
Mr. Caldwell, you identified yourself earlier. You're the father to the child that's before the court today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you heard what I explained to the court earlier, that you all are in agreement for zero child support going forward, because your child is receiving dividends from the ASRC, correct?
Yes, correct.
Can you explain to the court what that means?
Arctic Slope Regional Corporation is a corporation of the native people of the North Slope villages in Alaska, and it's a oil consulting company because we, as the people of the North Slope of Alaska, own the rights to the minerals and the land. So as reparations from the U.S. government, we have the ownership rights to the minerals and the land. And so oil is the main commodity of our land. So we're mainly based in oil consulting and oil connection companies. So the shares that each person is allotted is based on their blood quantum. And Garrett is 1/16th Native Alaskan, and that comes from my bloodline. And that's how he was eligible to get those shares. And he is not able to sell them or trade them or give them off to anybody. Those are his shares. And she has temporary custodialship of his ASRC portal, so that's his shareholding profile. But she doesn't have the rights to his shares because those were his birthrights. That's what our reparations from the U.S. government are for coming and infringing on our land. So we get the rights, and that's with the rights for the minerals. Then we work with other companies and corporations that pay us to come onto our land.
Okay. And so those dividends are your son's birthrights. Is it a lifetime benefit?
Yes, they do not diminish, and they can never be sold or given away or transferred to anyone unless he dies. And then even then, they can only be transferred to next of kin. or distributed amongst other shareholders that already are in the shareholder pool or qualify for the blood quantum to enter the shareholder pool.
Okay. And your son, being a minor, he's entitled to use those funds, or his custodian is, like Ms. Proctor, she's able to access them, or are they supposed to be
Only
held
under the
for him?
premise, only under the premise that you need to be an adult to operate a bank account. Otherwise, the ASRC portal itself will house all of the portfolio for his shareholding. So all of the profit and information that goes along with him being a shareholder, because technically he has a seat on the board, but that's a whole nother conundrum.
I question something. So you began that with that you need to be an adult to operate a bank account, and that's not really true. Like there's all sorts of children accounts, and then I remember when I was growing up, I worked when I was like 16, 15 and had my own account. And I guess technically, I don't know, maybe my parents were somewhat in charge of it, but you certainly can have an account as a child with money going into it.
Well, then he's, I'm sorry.
Like, so does that change your answer, or is it still like it needs to go to an adult because he's underage?
No, I mean, if Garrett could walk into a bank right now and open an account, then he could get those dividends transferred over to his name, and then he could rightfully hold all power to his ASRC portfolio.
Okay.
He's not restricted by any age limit for ownership, but those are his shares. Those are his. It's just a matter of who has access to the portfolio to address where the money is being allotted. So the dividend would be like direct deposited to her account or to Garrett's account if Garrett had his own account.
So does Miss Proctor having access to his portal remove his own access to the portal?
No, he can go and in person and prove his identity, which he would have to go all the way up to Barrow, Alaska. But he himself can also call in and prove his identity over the phone of, his social, and having set up the account and getting the information from the account, then he would be able to solely take over all control and ownership of his portal. Like I said, he's not restricted by any means whatsoever. It's his money. It's just a matter of, well, he's 7 years old. He doesn't have the real conception of debit cards and, how to transfer money around through portfolios and bank accounts.
Okay, Mr. Caldwell, thank you for that. Now, you heard Ms. Proctor earlier say that she's asking for sole managing conservatorship of your child. What kind of conservatorship are you asking the court for?
Joint.
And why do you feel joint managing conservatorship is in the best interest of your child?
From the get-go, of one, joint benefits, so that way it's just not Garrett being affected by anything that a mother and a father have, going through a breakup and not being together. Then it shouldn't be anything to him for them to, because I was with her for longer than the time frame that she had said whenever Garrett was born. I'd just leave it 6 months. So I'd known him for a while before we had actually split up, and I've always wanted joint custody, so that way it's, not a fight over a child. It's,
When was the last time you saw him in person?
Last time I saw him in person was on his birthday. And that was because 2 years ago.
So of 2023?
Yes.
Do you communicate with him regularly?
Not as regularly as I'd like to, no.
And why is that?
Me and Ariel's relationship is not good, and she takes it upon herself to personally make it more difficult for me to be there for my son. So either on a publicity standpoint or a personal standpoint, she's using my son as a pawn to ineffectively hurt me or get back at me or just disrupt the what I was trying to keep with Garrett. She's trying to disrupt and always has, and I just never understood.
Garrett's 7. Does he have his own iPad, cell phone communication device?
He has all of it.
Remember, I said, don't interrupt the person answering.
As far as I was told, no, he doesn't have his own stuff. He has access to technology, but as far as I know, no, he doesn't have any devices of his own. So that way I'd be able to stay in contact with him. But last time I was able to contact him, we were playing games across iPad, so he has access to a device somehow, somewhere.
Okay. And when was that last time that you talked to him?
April. And that was whenever me and Ariel were coming to an agreement where we had signed contracts for stating, how to move forward without going through the court system. But, she had signed everything and I still have the documents. I emailed them to Miss Karen.
Okay.
In the documents, so.
Okay. So since April, though, have you tried contacting him?
Ineffectively,
Have you called him since April?
no, haven't really had any communication with him because of Ariel. She purposely keeps me out of his life. So that way she can make it look like I'm not in his life.
Okay. So if the court orders visitation today, what kind of visitation schedule would you like with your son?
If I could have it set up for, the court's understanding and there not be any understanding or misunderstanding, I should say alternating weekends for 6 months and then every weekend for 6 months and see how that goes.
Okay. Do you okay. Are you in agreement for any of those visits to be supervised?
Preferably not. I mean, I don't have a problem with them being supervised by a cop or someone, but I don't want Ariel there supervising me. I don't mind if it's someone else, but I don't want Ariel infringing on me and my son's time.
So you're in agreement for supervised visits so long as they're not supervised by Ms. Proctor?
Yes, I'm going forward to not be supervised whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
Can you flesh that out more? Because unless someone's paying for a police officer, they don't offer that service.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not a verbal proposal because I can't.
Are you willing to pay for supervised visitation in a public place like that? Or are you requesting for visitation to be supervised by a family member or another trusted individual?
Trusted individual.
Do you have a person in mind?
Not currently at the moment that I feel 100% comfortable with. So I was informed of this meeting last night at 8:43 p.m.
Okay, before we proceed much further, there's a lot of big issues in this case, really big issues, from everything from child support to back to the visitation to some very serious allegations. And it looks like nobody was even served before they got here today. Are you all ready to proceed with this? Is anyone considering calling a lawyer, maybe having representation? Yes, ma'am.
I've been waiting to speak. I
Well,
actually,
you're
after
on the
hearing,
witness stand first, so it's not, I'm letting people speak. But
okay.
yes, ma'am?
After hearing what he had to say, that was just crazy because he can see his son if he takes a drug test. I've told him that for years now. All I did was say, take a hair test. I will pay
My
for
question
it.
is- No, ma'am, this is not a negotiation right now. This was, the AG's office presented this to me as if it was a hearing. So my question to y'all is, no one was served before today. Is anyone considering contacting a
I need an
lawyer?
attorney.
Okay.
I need an attorney. Yeah, because it looks like this isn't going to get anywhere. I'm not agreeing to joint custody at all.
Ma'am, this is not a negotiation. No one's asking anyone to agree to anything at this point.
Oh, okay.
This is a trial. You're in court. I don't know how to make it clearer. This is a courtroom. And I think I said that in the beginning, and I'm the judge, and I'm listening to evidence to make a ruling right now. But I'm also
Okay.
aware that it appears nobody had this pleading before today. Is that true?
I've known about this for 3 months, and he's known
Okay.
about it for 3 months.
That I don't think anyone had copies of pleadings because nobody was served with paperwork. This is our third setting in this case, believe it or not, but I don't believe anyone showed at the previous settings. But let me check and make sure that's actually true.
I got the email saying that I had
Ma'am, you
court
were
today.
present. Okay, so you were present in November. I'm not sure who was present in
This is
November.
Mr. Caldwell's first setting,
But it is his first,
first
it's his
appearance.
first, yeah, I'm not arguing with you, ma'am. I'm just stating a fact. It's his first appearance in this case. So whether or not he's known about it for 3 months, I don't think anyone got in deep with the issues in the case with either of you before today, is my point.
Yeah.
So this is not a debate. This is not a negotiation. I'm merely asking, are you all ready to proceed today? Because there's a lot of issues here. I don't even know that. I think you all need to research more and brief this child support issue, never mind the other issues, which almost make that pale in comparison. So are people ready to proceed today? Are you all thinking about consulting lawyers?
I think I need to consult my attorney or an attorney because after everything I just heard, it's going to be a fight. So I think I do need to go a step further.
Okay. Okay, why don't we reset this case to later in the summer and give everyone a chance to consult lawyers and think about this and think about what's going on with knowledge of what this is now. June 11th. Maybe one of the August dates.
Yes, Judge. Let me take a
Probably
look.
not during advanced because if people hire lawyers, the lawyers could be an advanced family.
Oh, okay, Judge. Judge, just for clarification though, Miss Proctor, you lost connectivity several times today. Would it be easier if we scheduled this in person? I know you dropped off like about 3-4 times today.
I would much rather do this in person. Yes.
Judge, if we may, I know it's your court, if you don't mind us coming in person, or we can.
That's fine.
Okay. So the next in-person judge.
I will say, ma'am, for cases where people do have safety concerns, I do have a preference for Zoom. But if you prefer to be live, that's fine. Just be aware, there's bailiffs, but it's still,
I mean, I'm okay with Zoom.
Okay.
I was just worried about the connection issues.
No, and I am concerned with connectivity issues too. I'm just letting you all know that, if you are live, that means you're live. So just be aware of that.
Okay. Anything's fine with me. Whatever you want. I just don't. I mean, we've been fine with connection this whole time. So until now, I guess.
Okay. So if we want to do in person, we want to do Zoom again, Judge. We can come back on August 11th or August 18th, or in person August 13th.
And again, I wasn't there or watching people come in and out all day. So if you think it needs to be live, that's fine. I just want to make sure people again fully realize the implications of live versus Zoom.
We can try Zoom again, Judge. Let's
Yes,
do
ma'am.
August 18th.
Perfect.
So we will reset to August 18th. You're both free to consult lawyers. The state does not represent either of you. please be prepared to proceed next time, and we'll go from there. And Ms. Petita, I do recommend you all research this issue. I'm not sure dividends. I know dividends are not the same as SSDI payments. I'm not sure they should be treated the same way.
Yes,
why they
Judge.
would be. And hearing the testimony, I'm more sure than ever that I don't think they should be, but there might be case law out there on this issue that I don't know about.
Yes, Judge, we'll look into that.
Okay.
We'll do a reset order and get it sent over to Ms. Proctor and Mr. Caldwell.
Thank you.